Okay, so I'm very late making this Survivor video, and part of it is just genuinely been busy with a lot of different stuff the past few days. Part of it was also I'm like, do I even really want to talk about it? Which is not a great sign, but I will say, like with so many of these recent episodes, there have been a lot of things that I loved in it. And that generally comes down to I really like the cast. And when the cast is able to just be human and be themselves, I have loved it. Devin's whole like happy dance montage. Ain't no one gonna break on my stride. Ain't nothing gonna hold me down. Like that's kind of the vibe I had as he's just like dancing around the island. It was so fun. It was so funny. And then you have Joe on Hypocrisy Hill, as Sari put it, just on a Rushmore of Survivor haters, just like, I hate the way that he walks. I hate that he talks. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you play idols. Just hating everything about Devon's was so funny. And Suri immediately calling him out on it in confessional was perfect. And then we do see later in the episode with the blindside against Ozzy that, yeah, Joe is down to blindside people. Joe isn't opposed to getting rid of someone that he's tight with, that he's in an alliance with. Joe is like begging Jonathan, like, hey, we gotta tell Rizzo. I want to keep Rizzo in the vote because I think he's good for us to have around. I don't want us to have to burn him. But then when he's talking to Rizzo, he's like, yeah, dude, Jonathan begged me to tell you. Like, that's not what happened. Why are you lying here? Like, I'm not sure I quite get it. The best I could guess is he's trying to make it seem, he's like, yeah, like, I want to tell you, Jonathan definitely wanted to make sure to make Rizzo think that he's closer to Jonathan than he actually is. But I'm like, you're also downplaying your own relationship with Rizzo, and it seems that seemed important to you. So I'm not exactly sure. But maybe there is like an actual plan and strategy there. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But it is, man, I hate Devon's because he lies. Man, I hate Survivor when Survivor's just people lying, manipulating, and being flashy. But also Joe, no, but it's totally cool when I do it. Like Sari said, Hypocrisy Hill. But I mean that in the best possible way, because I like watching Joe. And I love watching a player have a certain mentality and then justify when they go against their mentality. It's like I've said, Worm is one of my favorite works of fiction of all time. And reading all of those moments where Taylor will say, this is a terrible thing, but it's okay when I do it because A, B, C. I know for some people that's probably infuriating. To me, I find that fascinating. And it's one of the reasons why I know a lot of people don't like 48. I enjoyed 48 a lot. Is it the best in terms of its like crazy gameplay and strategy? No. But for these human moments and interactions and just the conflict of trying to play a game like Survivor but keep your integrity and your humanity, riveting. Speaking of human moments and just, I don't want to say riveting because that feels disrespectful. I loved Ozzy talking about his dad, talking about, his relationship with his dad, and that bit where he's just chilling with Devon's and like he's talking about his dad, Devon's is talking about fatherhood, and he's like, dude, I'm more emotional than you are right now. And not in like a mean way, like Ozzy's being cold. He's like, dude, like you've just got me bawling right now. Like it was genuinely beautiful to watch. And I loved all of that. The immunity challenge I thought was fine. I thought was solid. It's one we've seen a gajillion times. The ending was interesting because I personally can't think of a time where production had to step in and say, hold on, Jeff, you actually called it wrong. This person should have been out here. You didn't see it. We saw it. But seeing the replay, that looked accurate. So although Tiff seemingly won immunity, it ultimately ended up going to Jonathan. Okay? Like, that's jank, but I don't think it was BS in any way. Like, I'm very glad they showed the replay. Then we get to the BS and the jank. let me just say this before I say pretty much anything else. Number one, Ozzy dug his own grave. Like, that was pretty much 100% on him. He made a massive unforced error by talking to Aubrey the way he did and saying all that. He made another massive error by not playing his idol in a tribe so small, where he had even had a dream the previous night where he's like, I had a nightmare that I didn't play my idol and I got booted. I feel like I got to do it. You know, next tribal, I think I'm just going to play it. Suri's even telling me, he's like, I'm hearing your name again. He's like, all right, I got to play my idol. I got to make sure I'm safe. And he still didn't. And he went home. That is on him. And seeing how Aubrey is on the bottom, but it's like, okay, I've got some ammo, I'm gonna use it. Great. Jonathan showing up, and then we're like, okay, I have an idea. I also have an idea. Cool, we have the same idea. I still don't know how much I can trust you, but I have to for this. Let's go. I think that's great. And then Rizzo going, I mean, he's my ally. And I fully intended to roll with him. Yeah, I intended him and Suri to be my ride or dies. But brother, what are you doing? This was dumb. This was so dumb. Why are you saying all of this? I think I'm gonna have to cut ties with him. Yeah! Like, I loved pretty much all of that. Also, I think none of that happens without this twist of, hey, so you know how there's only 9 of us left? Well, we're going to divide, and we've been merged for several rounds. We're going to do that thing where we split the merged tribe in half, 4 and 4, and the person that won immunity, cool, you're just going to go to both of these. I don't like it. I like what we got, but I still don't like it. Part of it is, number one, yeah, I don't like splitting the merged tribe. I've hated that every time they've done it in the new era. The Blood Moon to me is fine. I don't love the people that we lost, but I think it's fine because functionally it was just another tribe swap, and to me that's okay. This deep in the merge, no. Number 2, I think D's boot was the last round that didn't have a twist. And like idol shot in the dark, I don't count that as a twist. That's just established gameplay at this point. But after that was, okay, now we've got like the dual fate thing with Coach and Chrissy. Then we had Jimmy Fallon with Christian. And then we had the Mr. B super advantage with Steph. And now we have the split tribal. Like, please let this be a normal round of Survivor. With the fans? No way! And like, just... like, I just don't love it. I want to see the players play. And when they do, I think it's really good. And I feel like they're playing in spite of Survivor often as much, maybe even more so, than they're actually able to play Survivor. And I hate that. But also, as they were talking about what was going to happen, I just thought to myself, there are 3 idols in play. And one of them was literally given by production in the last round, and there's nothing any player could do about it. There is a non-zero chance that there will be a tribe with Ozzy, Rizzo, and Devins, who all have idols. Jonathan will be there, who has immunity, and there is just an extra person that goes by default. And thank God that didn't happen. That Suri didn't get advantage get in twice. But that very much could have. And granted, we had a tribe that had 2 idols on it, and one of them didn't play their idol and they went home. And I think everything that happened on that tribe was really good and really interesting. But I don't like how feasible that situation was. And maybe that's a problem where I'm too focused on potential bad results rather than the good stuff, like what happened with Devon's and the Mr. Beast coin. But it's also me just thinking, I don't want to praise a bad idea because it worked out okay, because I still think it was a bad idea, even if the execution ended up being okay. And I'm also just sitting there thinking to myself, like, well, what if this hadn't happened? Who would have gone home? I think Emily is probably not a bad bet. I think there's a good non-zero chance of, yeah, let's split the vote between Emily and Devon's. Maybe Emily still tries her plan of, well, you know, I'll get Devon's to play it on me, so let's just get rid of him. Which I absolutely loved that on that try, by the way, too. It was her being really sneaky and then telling Devon's, okay, like, this is our best plan. Let's just try to get rid of Suri. And then Tiff was totally down. Or Tiff was totally fooled. Jonathan was totally fooled. And Suri's like, I do have that extra vote. I'm going to put 2 on Emily because I don't trust this. And yeah, she was 100% right to sniff it out. If this was a full tribe, I think Jonathan still tries to go for Ozzy. I think Aubrey probably tries to get in. With Suri around, I don't think Ozzy gets that cocky, and he either plays it, because I think Suri, because based on what she was saying, she's like, yeah, I need him to play it so I don't get screwed in an idle situation later. Plus, you know, we can use that to maybe get someone else out. And I kind of wanted to see how that was going to play out, but we didn't. But at least we still got votes, because there was a chance in the last round if Devon's called tails, then we wouldn't have even gotten a vote. Just... like I said, there was a lot to like about this episode. And while I think ultimately both tribals were good and interesting and satisfying, it's worrisome how so many of these ideas and these twists can potentially have these devastating outcomes. And that almost seems encouraged by the format, and I don't like that. But I think we only have 2 episodes left, so I don't know if we're getting another double boot or if the finale is going to be top 6 instead of top 5, because it's been top 5 lately. I remember, like, they used to do top 6, so I wouldn't be shocked either way, especially for a season like 50. I'm bothered that it's just been twist after twist after twist after twist the last few rounds, but I still want to know what's going to happen, because I still, in spite of a lot of the twists and such, I like this cast. I feel invested. I still think if Suri gets to the end, she wins, but Suri can't win a challenge to save her life, and she just lost one of her her allies. So I don't think she has a great chance of making it to the end. Devon's, I mean, I think he could win, but I don't feel like, oh man, he's this super crazy threat. Because, well, how do I want to say this? I think Suri wins by default just by being Suri and getting to the end. But on top of that, she has played the best game of anyone here. After Suri, it might be Jonathan. Jonathan has done a fantastic job of positioning himself, making moves, and not taking the heat for it, which is good and bad in its own way. It can be bad because people think you're not as good as you actually were, but also he could show, like, no, like, I did a lot of stuff, I made a lot of moves, I had allies, sometimes I was able to get revenge for them, sometimes I just lost people, but I have consistently been, because I don't think he's had a vote cast against him all season. And it doesn't feel like, man, that he's because he's doing nothing. Like, no, he's doing a really good job of taking the heat off of him. Devon's had a really big, flashy moment. I guess there's the other thing with, like, the fake idol, because that did, you know, save him for a round or 2. No, was it 2? It might have just been that one. Well, because I think that happened, and then there was the Christian thing where, like, look, like, we'll put votes on him, but, like, this is the time to get Christian. I think he's played solid. I think Rizzo has also played incredibly well. It's very similar to Jonathan, where he's positioned himself super well. He's been able to make a lot of moves. Like, his influence has been in a lot of different places. I think Suri cleans house against him, but I think as long as Rizzo isn't sitting next to Suri, I think he has a pretty solid chance to win. If Aubrey is able to make this late season push, and bouncing Ozzy definitely is part of that, because I think she and Jonathan are the architects of it, and they're kind of equal architects. You could argue Aubrey more so because she started getting that ball rolling, but it was Jonathan showing up that was able to really make sure that, like, Joe was on board as well. If she can keep this late season push, she could definitely take it too. Who does that leave? That leaves Tiff. I don't know. I feel like I mean, Tiff has won some challenges. It seems like people really like her. Like, she's pretty well connected. But I mean, I don't know who she beats aside from Joe. Joe, I think, is getting to the end because he's the GOAT. I say that as someone who does like Joe, but I feel like Joe might get a vote from Coach. If Jonathan is on the jury, like, he might vote for Joe. But I feel like Joe is not really a threat to win. And while I feel like Tiff could make some kind of a push, I don't think Joe's got that in him. But, yeah, that's where we're at. Next episode is in a couple days. Finale, I assume the finale is next week, and it's not going to be on Sunday the way that they used to. Maybe for 50 there'll be something special, but I doubt it. I think that's it, so see you.